Hey YouTube, Jessica Frame here. It's about 10:15 Pacific Standard Time, and this is like the third time I have tried to record this video, but my camera keeps shutting off, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time. My video camera is working again, and I'm hoping that the battery will stay alive long enough for me to complete this video. I just got back from St. George, Utah, and I was visiting some family there that I haven't seen since I was 6, so that's 12 years, or yeah, almost 13 years, and yes, they were all amazed at how much I have grown, and my grandmother and aunt were both commenting on how much I look like my mother, to which I replied, thank you, because my mother is absolutely gorgeous. And today I would like to talk about my own internal debate about vegetarianism, and I'm calling this video to be or not to be a vegetarian, and I might have done that backwards, but I think that it's going to mirror when it is on the computer. I don't know. I've had a couple of debates with myself. Mainly they've been the same arguments back and forth, just reinventing them. And this all sort of came up because I saw an episode of Roseanne, which, for those of you who don't know, is an American sitcom from, I believe, the 90s, possibly late 80s, but I don't think so, about a family. Just it's a sitcom, it's a comedy. But anyway, the main character's daughter, Darlene, was talking about eating meat is making your stomach a graveyard. And that really made me think. And I've thought about becoming a vegetarian before, but only for health reasons, not necessarily ethical reasons. And this made me want to start pursuing the ethical reasons, or look into the ethical reasons. So I'm going to give you my arguments and my own counter arguments to those arguments, and then tell you about some research that I did, or sort of research, not necessarily research. And I'm going to let you know ahead of time that in this video I'm going to talk about abortion, and if you're the kind of person that gets pissed off easily when someone doesn't agree with you 100%, then click the X right now, because I don't want to read hate comments on my channel or my video. I encourage spirited debates. If you want to debate me or give me another argument, help me think about this more rationally, if you don't think I am thinking about it rationally enough. But no hate. I don't like hate. So, first thing that really came to mind was that people shouldn't eat animals because they're living creatures, and we wouldn't want animals to eat us, right? That'd be horrible. It'd be a tragic accident if animals ate us. So shouldn't it be the same way the other way around? If they're alive. But then I had another thing pop up in my head saying, well, plants are alive too. You pull an apple from a tree, you're pulling it from its life source. It's not getting any water or nutrients anymore. So essentially you're holding a dead apple in your hand, and you eat that, and it's a plant graveyard in your stomach, to paraphrase Darlene. And so that sort of nipped the living creature in the bud there. But then I had another argument for why not to be a vegetarian. I thought, well, what about protein? People want to live. Theoretically, life is a very good thing, so I need protein to sustain my own life. But then popped up in my head that, well, you could survive off of peanut butter even if nothing else had protein in it, which I know that there are things that have protein. You could survive off of peanut butter alone, or eggs. And eggs don't bother me, obviously, because they're not fertilized. The embryo is not fertilized, so it's not an animal, it's not a living thing. It could have been at one time, but it never was, so that doesn't bother me. But then I decided, okay, I've thought this out several times. Let me look online and see if I can find some people that are vegetarians who can give me their reasoning, and then I can, use that to my advantage and just think some more about it. So I have a friend on Twitter who is a vegetarian. His name is I'm a Vegetarian. So I'm like, okay, maybe he'll tell me why he's a vegetarian. No. The first thing he said was he never really thought about it, which I know is not true. If you're saying that you hold a position and you're passionate about your position and you're proud of your position, you wouldn't say, oh, I've never really thought about it. It's kind of stupid. Like, that's not true. And if that were true, that's very ridiculous. So then he says, I don't want to talk about it. So I don't know what that's all about, but whatever. And then I asked a couple other people on Twitter if they were vegetarians, because I thought I remembered them saying they were, but I mixed that up with the wrong person. So I'm like, okay, let me go look on YouTube. And I found The Thoughtful Atheist on YouTube and saw his video about why he's a vegetarian. And from what I understand, he is more concerned about an animal being conscious. And that made me think, because my stance on abortion, though I am pro-choice, I think that a woman has a right to do whatever she wishes with her body. I think it is morally wrong, ethically wrong, to have an abortion when you know that the fetus is conscious. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think consciousness begins around the 3rd or 4th month. So abortion anytime before that, I have no problem. I see no problem with that, nothing wrong with that. But once it's conscious of its own existence, once it can feel pain, I think it's horrible and wrong. And those people who say it's evil and it's murder, I would agree with them at that point. Anytime before, no, I would not. But when it's conscious, I completely see it as murder. So animals are conscious. They are aware of their own existence. They fear death. They fear pain. They feel pain. So then I thought, if I use the same argument, am I a hypocrite for eating meat? I think I am. I'm not sure if I'm thinking entirely logically. I am very tired, but I think that really makes me a hypocrite. And I hate to be a hypocrite, so this is bothering me. And I'd love to hear what any of you have to say about this, unless, like I said, it's hateful, because I don't want to hear hateful. I just would love to hear arguments and positions, and just give me some feedback, some thoughtful feedback on this topic. I know that physically I could definitely do this. I could definitely become a vegetarian physically, because, as I said before, there are many other ways to find protein other than eating something, other than killing something to get food. And for a very long time I said, oh well, I can eat meat, at least I don't have to kill it, right? I think it's wrong to hunt. I hate it when people go out and kill deer for fun. They're like, oh well, we eat it. And I said, well, that's barbaric, because you can go to the grocery store and you don't have to kill it yourself, because that just makes you a killer. But that logic I now see is very twisted. So I feel very hypocritical, and I know that, like I said, I know physically it would be no problem, because it's not like I have a physical dependence on meat. So my problem would be mental. I worked at a grocery store for 3 years at a store called Piggly Wiggly. It's in the South in the United States. And there was a guy that I worked with named Patrick who once convinced me that, I'm very naive, by the way. He once convinced me that humans were very genetically similar to pigs, so it was considered a sin to eat pigs. This was back in my days of believing in God, by the way, obviously. So I didn't eat pork for like 6 months. It was no problem. Anytime I saw pork, it grossed me out because I associated it with human. So I know I could do it, but I know that if any problem were to come up in attempting this, or setting my mind to this, it would be mental. Mental would be the only, mentally would, I'm not thinking clearly, okay. My mind would be what would give me a problem, because, like, I started thinking about this in the car on my long drive home from St. George. I love chicken. I like beef. I'm not a huge, I don't eat beef that much, but I still do eat it. And it's like my mom makes these really great casseroles with chicken. So I'm thinking, oh, man, I can't have chicken and rice casserole anymore. I can't have this and this and this. So I know mentally I'm gonna have issues with this, but physically I won't. I don't think I will. But please give me some feedback. Tell me what you think. I really hope my camera hasn't turned off. I'm about to look and see. So all of you have a great night, morning, day, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Please let me know what you think on this. Help me decide. Well, no, you're not really helping me decide. You're helping me to continue the debate with myself. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Ellie Lee Jane. Yeah, thank you.